PlayStation 1994. This console killed cartridges, and nobody saw it coming. The original PlayStation used CD-ROMs. That meant 650 megabytes of space instead of tiny cartridges. More music, more voice acting, more video. Inside was a 32-bit MIPS CPU running at 33.8 MHz. That sounds small today, but here's the twist. Sony added a geometry transformation engine. This chip did 3D math by itself. Rotation, perspective, lighting games jumped into real 3D. The GPU handled textures with 1 megabyte of VRAM. A separate chip decoded full motion video. That is why cutscenes exploded in popularity. Then came the controller. 2 analog sticks, vibration, that layout never left.
Over 100 million sold. Gaming grew up overnight.
PS1 2000. Same power, smaller shell, lower cost. The PS1 shrank the motherboard, cut unused ports, and reduced heat. Less piracy, cheaper production. It launched at $99. There was even a snap-on LCD screen, not portable but transportable. Shockingly, it outsold the PS2 at first. Why? Price beats power. Sony took notes. PlayStation 2 2000. This was not just a console, it was a weapon. The PS2 used DVDs. At launch, DVD players cost more than the PS2 itself. Families bought it for movies, then bought games later. Inside was the Emotion Engine, a 128-bit CPU running at 294 MHz, paired with 2 vector units for physics and animation. The GPU had 4 megabytes of ultra-fast embedded DRAM. Insane bandwidth, tiny memory. Developers had to stream everything constantly. But here's the killer feature. The PS2 included the actual PS1 CPU. Full backward compatibility, no emulation. Result, 158 million units sold. Still unbeatable. PSX and PS2 Slim. Sony got ambitious. Too ambitious. The PSX combined a PS2, DVR, hard drive, and DVD burner. It used an early version of the XMB menu. But it was expensive and fragile. If the hard drive failed, the whole system died. It never left Japan. The PS2 Slim fixed everything. Smaller, built-in Ethernet. Quieter. Some features were cut. Sales weren't. PlayStation Portable PSP 2004. Sony attacked handhelds head-on. The PSP ran a 333 MHz MIPS CPU with up to 64 megabytes RAM. That was massive for a handheld. It used UMD discs holding 1.8 gigabytes, movies, games, music, but discs drained battery life. Revisions fixed a lot, slimmer body, more RAM, TV output, better screen. It sold 76 million units. Then came modding, emulation, custom firmware. The PSP refused to die. PlayStation 3 2006. This was Sony's ego era, $599. Late launch, confusing message. The Cell processor was a monster. 1 main core, 8 helper cores. Incredible at math, terrible for developers. Games ran worse than competitors, but Sony bet on Blu-ray. That decision won the HD format war. Early models even included full PS2 hardware. Price cuts came, exclusives hit. PlayStation Plus launched, it recovered. 87 million sold. PlayStation Vita 2011. The Vita was brilliant and doomed. Quad-core ARM CPU, OLED touchscreen, dual analog sticks, but memory cards were proprietary and expensive. Mobile gaming exploded. Support vanished. Sales collapsed. Today, it's a cult classic. PlayStation 4 2013. Sony simplified everything. Standard x86 architecture, 8-core AMD CPU, 8 gigabytes of fast GDDR5 memory. Developers loved it. Sony focused on one thing, games. It launched at $399, cheaper than rivals. Sales exploded, 117 million units. The PS4 Pro doubled GPU power, used checkerboard rendering for near 4K. Mid-gen upgrades became normal. PlayStation 5 2020. This generation is about speed. A custom SSD pushing 5 gigabytes per second. No loading screens, no waiting. Levels stream instantly. The controller changed immersion, adaptive triggers, advanced haptics. You don't just play, you feel. Supply shortages slowed it down. Demand didn't care. Over 92 million sold by 2026. PS5 Slim, PS5 Pro, and Portal. The Slim unified manufacturing. Detachable Detachable disk drive, 1 terabyte storage. Smaller size. The PS5 Pro solved the final problem. Performance or visuals? AI upscaling. More compute units. Ray tracing without sacrifice. And the Portal? Not a console. A lifestyle device? It streams your PS5. Freeze the TV. Perfect for adult gamers. Mocked online. Sold out anyway. Final truth? PlayStation didn't win by being flawless. It won by adapting faster than everyone else. Every mistake became a lesson. Every generation fixed the last. That's why PlayStation still dominates.